April 24th, I wrote, "Tonight feels like the end of a very scary chapter, and I know there are better things ahead for us." When Ben first was diagnosed and healing from brain surgery, there was a lot of fear running through my head. I found others to cover for me at work and turned the entire focus of my life into caring for Ben. Slowly, as I spent time searching the internet for information on the best treatments, I felt my personal life slipping into chaos. We can't be perfect people, and we cannot always keep our lives in perfect order. On rough days, when I felt the chaos closing in, I had to take a step back and choose the one most meaningful thing that needed done that day. Some days, if it's all you can do to hold yourself together and respect that reality, don't push yourself past your limits. What is the one thing that you can do today to bring some peace into your life? Oftentimes, feeling overwhelmed comes from having unrealistic expectations. For me to believe that I could come home from the hospital and take on all of my normal household responsibilities, along with the new and huge responsibility of helping Ben through his recovery and starting treatment, was unrealistic. I had to decide for myself each day what was really the most important thing for that day. And in the early recovery stage, most of my time was spent right with Benjamin, and it was clear that that had to be my number one priority. As he healed and was able to function on his own for longer periods again, I felt the need to catch up on every single thing that I had neglected. There was a lot that I had neglected, and I wanted the house to be perfectly clean and to be running smoothly. I didn't consider my own emotional exhaustion. The truth is that I needed time to heal myself. This life is not a race. It's okay and even necessary to take time to heal. It's important to give yourself some space, not to be perfect. Things can be good enough. Things don't have to happen every single time or never at all. There is a middle ground. There are so many possibilities between those two extremes. Things can happen sometimes, or things can happen occasionally. This is a much more realistic expectation. Try to avoid all or nothing thinking. Life does not have to be seen as a huge disaster if it's not working perfectly as planned. People make mistakes. Accidents happen. This is a normal part of life. Try not to think of things as impossible. They may be difficult. You may need help, and you may not have success the first time around. But often, with consistent effort over time, you can accomplish much more than you would believe. Go easy on yourself. It's funny for me now, this is years in the future, right? And so it's funny for me now reading these words that I wrote on the commentary of something that I wrote right after Ben's brain surgery, because I can hear these words that I wrote to myself back in the day and thinking of other parents going through the same struggle that I had just recently gone through. And as I read this, I really wish that somebody had been there at that time to put their arm around me and to say these things. Really honestly, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do it all. It's not a total failure if you cannot achieve perfection. Many days, you're going to do your best, and the truth is your best is enough because that's what you have and that's what you can give. And nobody can expect anything more from you than your best. Maybe people expect it, but that's not realistic. And the problem is myself, my own expectations of myself were often much higher than what anybody else would expect. And so it's important for me to remember that I can't always be perfect. I can't always do everything 100%, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't try. I still can try. It's always worthwhile to try. And if I try today and I fall short, it's still better than if I didn't try at all and didn't make any progress at all. So I don't know where you are in your life. I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know if you need to hear this. I know that I needed to hear this back in the day. And I know that I actually need to hear this today. A reminder that I can do my best and my best is enough. It does not have to be all or nothing. It's okay to be occasionally or sometimes or 90%. It's okay to do my best and let that be enough and be okay with it, so that I'm not letting the emotional weight of striving for perfection weigh me down. There's enough things in life that weigh me down. There's enough worries on my head and enough stress on my shoulders that I do not need to add to that the stress of perfection. So I hope that in your life you're at a healthier place than me. I hope that in your life you don't struggle with this. But if you do, I would just encourage you to remember today, your best is enough. Your best is good enough. And if you're doing your best, that is awesome. Congratulations to you. Keep it up.
I'm Anastasia, and this is something that helped me. I know every story is different, but I hope that in this you can find something to help you as well. Best of luck. It used to really bother me. Every single person would say, I don't know how you do it. And for me, I realized the answer is 1 day at a time, sometimes 1 minute at a time. People would say, I could never do that. Yes, you could, and you will. The journey is long and bumpy, but keep taking those tiny steps, and you can do this. I promise. Whatever is standing in front of you today, you can get through it.